everyone, Stephanie Boulay here, registered dietitian for Coastline. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We're going to be making a honey sriracha salmon bowl. Salmon's one of my most favorite fish to eat. I just absolutely love it. It's jam-packed with omega-3 fatty acids, very high in protein, and honestly, I could eat it every week. Not everybody feels that way, but so you can easily swap out any kind of fish that you prefer. You could do it with cod, you could do it with swordfish, you could do it with anything. It'd be so, so delicious. So I have here four 4-ounce salmon fillets here. So we're just gonna cut them into 1-inch pieces. So what's nice about this recipe is that they're gonna cook really fast. They will cook so fast. And I actually purchased some frozen salmon because, you know, purchasing frozen salmon or any kind of frozen fish, it's a really inexpensive way to get your omega-3s. And because a lot of times when we're buying fish, it can be really, really pricey. And purchasing it from the frozen aisle, it can be a fantastic option. All right, so I am just gonna put this over here. Gonna work on these other 2 fillets. Okay. So yeah, so like I was saying, so you can substitute salmon for any other kind of fish that you like. I recently had some tautog, and I really liked it. I know that can be pretty popular around here, tautog. But yeah. All right, almost done here with my salmon. Okay. And what I liked about buying it frozen too is that it all comes vacuum sealed and individually, like in their own little bags. So that's nice. So if you're cooking for 1 or 2, like instead of getting this whole huge thing of salmon, you know, you can start to just get, you can just use 1 portion as needed, which is wonderful. All right. Okay, so moving on to our marinade. So for our marinade, I have some soy sauce, and actually I'm gonna get another bowl so that way I can whisk it all together. So I found a reduced sodium soy sauce, and that can be a little challenging to get sometimes, but soy sauce is pretty high in sodium. So if you can get it reduced, then that is better. Okay, so I have some sriracha here. So for those of you who like a little spice, you're gonna love this recipe. Okay. And if you don't have any sriracha at home, you could use some Tabasco sauce if you want. I bet that'd be really tasty. Of course, I'm adding my sweet element here, my honey. Okay, a little bit of water to kind of help loosen things up a bit. And then of course, fresh garlic. I added an extra clove of garlic because I absolutely love garlic. And if you've ever watched me on this show, you know I've talked a lot about garlic and onions, that your gut absolutely loves it. It's very good for the gut. All right, so we're just gonna mix this up here, this beautiful marinade. And then I'm gonna pour it over my salmon. Okay. So if you have the time, let it marinate for as long as you can. If it's, you know, at least 20 minutes, that's great. An hour would be ideal. So that way all of the beautiful flavors from this marinade can really get in there. Okay, here we go. What I really liked about this recipe was A, how easy it was, B, it included salmon, and C, it's so refreshing to have, you know? And when you have some of those Asian flavors, you get that umami, you know? That umami just is what makes Asian dishes, so special. Okay, so now that I have this here, I got my salmon in my marinade. I got my pan on. You can use oil, you can use spray, you can use butter, you know, you can use whatever you have on hand. Here we go, nice little sizzle. Here we go. All right, and we're gonna add our salmon in here, okay? But you don't wanna add all the marinade just yet. You just wanna put the salmon pieces in there because we're gonna add the rest of the marinade after that. Okay, here we go. Oh, I just love the smell of butter in a pan. Don't you? I don't know. I don't think you can get any better than that. Especially butter and onions too. I don't know. You come home, someone's cooking, you know, butter and onions. Oh my gosh, it's like, oh, what are you making? It smells divine. Okay. All right, so these are gonna cook for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. So it doesn't take too long to make them, which is great. So if you're trying to make some quick meal, that works out. This is a great option for that. All right, so again, not gonna use our marinade, we're gonna save it for later. Make sure all of our little guys are on here doing well. You can actually do this in the air fryer as well. If you wanted to, you totally could use the air fryer. So if you're trying to, you know, do things, you know, with a little less butter, a little less oil, cooking it in the air fryer is also another great idea. You can bake salmon as well. Personally, that's one of my favorite things or favorite ways to cook salmon is in the oven. But what I hear a lot of times from people is that, oh, you know, when I cook fish, my whole house smells like fish, right? But there's actually a way to kind of get around that, especially if you're cooking it in the oven. All you have to do is you have to cook it at a lower temperature. So you could cook it at like 270 and that smell won't aerate as much. So there you go. If you're looking for a nice little tip, there you go. You are welcome. All right, so while this is cooking, I'm gonna move this around just a little bit. So while this is continuing to cook, I'm gonna start chopping up some of my fresh vegetables that I have over here. All right. So I'm gonna be adding cucumber to this dish. I love a good cucumber. It's so refreshing, it's so hydrating. I don't know, it's like one of my favorite things to eat in the summertime. And I also love the English cucumbers too because they don't have that wax on them that you can normally find with other cucumbers. So personally, that's just a win-win for me. Okay. And you notice that I am not cutting my cucumber on the same board as my salmon. That is like food safety 101. You don't want to do that because now I just cross-contaminated and we don't want that. So always be careful, you know, when you're making meals for people at parties. You always want to be careful and cautious of that. Okay. So if you don't like cucumber, it's funny, I have family that doesn't like cucumber. Actually, a lot of my family members don't like cucumber, but you don't have to add that to this recipe. I like it because it gives that nice crunch to the dish. So what you could do is you could roast a lot of different vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, carrot. You could add all of that to this recipe so very easily in no time at all. Okay. Just look at how colorful they are. Oh my goodness, so versatile. Thank you, little cucumbers. So I'm just gonna cut up the rest of this. Okay. And this can serve 4 people, so you don't have to use, I used 4-ounce fillets here, but you don't have to do that. You could easily just cut this recipe in half. Okay, here we go, almost done. My salmon smells so good. Okay. Here we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. See, and if you were to have someone come over, you can just assemble all the bowls together. It's just so easy. All right, so I just want to check and see how my babies are doing. They're looking pretty good. I'm just going to give them another minute or so. Okay. There we go. So this recipe also calls for edamame, and it was actually a little challenging to find some edamame in the store this time around. I don't know why, but you could easily use frozen edamame. You can get them fresh, you can get them frozen. They do have them that's already like roasted, but I wouldn't really recommend that for this recipe. I guess if you wanted the crunch, you could use it. But edamame is a soybean. It's very high in plant protein. So if you just wanted to do more plant-based and have maybe some tofu, you could do tofu with this. That would be delicious. With some edamame and different things, it would be absolutely delicious. All right, so now I got my pieces are getting all nice and crispy, so I'm gonna add the rest of my marinade in here. Here we go. Here we go. Woo, I smell that spiciness. It's so good. All right. So now we can start assembling our bowls. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Turn you on low, baby. All right. So now, like I was telling you earlier, so I made some brown rice. You know, it is a nutrition show, so why not, right? Let's get all the nutrition in while we can. Okay, so we got some brown rice in here. Okay. I also have some avocado that I'm going to be adding to this. Avocado, another one of my favorites. Very healthy in the omega-3 fatty acids. A lot of heart-healthy stuff in here. That's what this meal is all about today, heart health. Okay. This meal would also be diabetic friendly as well. Okay. All right, I'm going to turn you off. Okay, so now I'm going to add some of my salmon pieces. Oh, it smells so good. All right, come on, you beauties, come on. Come on here. Here we go. Okay. All right, I got my cucumber. And I'm going to sprinkle some on here. It's going to add this beautiful crunch to this bowl. Okay. I've got some edamame. And then, of course, my avocado. There you go. All right, now for the final touch, we're going to add a little bit of Sriracha mayo to it. Hold on. Ooh. And voila, a quick and easy, very healthy, very nutritious meal, cooked in only just maybe 10 minutes, if that. But it's absolutely wonderful. Look at that. Look at how colorful that is. Well, thanks so much for tuning in today. If you do try this recipe, please let us know in the comments below. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching.